Okay, in the name of Lord Jesus Christ, we shall continue to look into 1 Corinthians. So far, we cover Corinthians chapter 1, 2, and 3. So if we want to use a simple modern day summarization, a modern day to summarize, if we want to summarize chapter 1, 2, and 3, let's put it in this way. Chapter 1, Paul said, what's wrong with you? Okay? So, yeah, easier for you to remember, huh? So, chapter 1, Apostle Paul asked the member in Corinth, like, what's wrong with you? And in chapter 2, basically, Apostle Paul said, why are you acting so immature? Okay? So, chapter 1 is point out the problem, which is division. Okay? Chapter 1 is point out the problem. Chapter 2, Paul said, we the mature, we don't do those kind of things. Okay? We are spiritually mature. We also talk about wisdom, but our wisdom is different than yours. Okay? So basically in chapter 2, it's more like, why are you acting so childish? That's chapter 2. And chapter 3 is that basically Paul was telling that this is what you need to do. Okay? This is what you ought to do in serving. So chapter 3, Apostle Paul talk about servitude. How do you elevate, make it higher? How do you elevate the quality of your servitude? How can your servitude be remembered and honored by God? So basically, how do you find value? In the morning, we said, just because you are working doesn't mean that you are serving God. Just because you are doing some church work doesn't mean that you are doing holy work. There are differences. Church work, church assignments might not equal to holy work. Holy work. Because quote and unquote, holy work begins with the word holy. Holy to the Lord. You can totally serve in the church, but for yourself. Okay? So that you can be seen, so that you can exercise the power and authority. It makes you feel good. You know what? You can totally do church assignment, but not serving God. So we have to make sure that if we want to find value in our servitude, that everything that you do must equal, it needs to, it has to equal to holy work if you do it for the Lord. Okay? All right, so let's go back to chapter 3. We will cover chapter 3 and 4 in this class. Let's go to chapter 3. In chapter 3, this morning, we talk about in verse 3. In verse 3. That here says that, for you are still carnal. You are still carnal. We mentioned in the morning, please do not have a misconcept about Corinthian church. They are very active. When the Bible mentioned about they are full of talents and very gifted, they were talking about doing church work. Okay? So this is a church, Corinthian church. If you look from outside, they are very active. Very active. A lot of picnic, a lot of gospel tea fellowship, a lot of members show up, a lot of people participate, contribute to the church. If you only look from outside, you might find a lot of activities with the church. But the problem is, with the Corinthian church, the problem is, number one, some serve for themselves, okay, to be seen. All right. Okay. Number two, some serve out of wrong motivation. Okay. So basically, yeah, a lot of people are actively working in the church. But according to Apostle Paul, some of their mentality or serving concept is incorrect. Okay, let's go back to chapter 3. So now here, when Apostle Paul talked about carnal, then again, he went back to chapter 1 about division. In fact, as we mentioned in chapter 1, division is the biggest problem in the church. Therefore, unity is the biggest goal for the church. When you have the chance, if you go and read John chapter 17, this is the prayer of Jesus. And in John chapter 17, throughout the entire New Testament, John 17 described the mindset of Jesus in the greatest detail. Usually, in four Gospels, when they talk about Jesus, or when they talk about the prayer of Jesus, most of the time they talk from the third party, from external view. For example, they say, Jesus went and prayed on the mountain. That's the end. Jesus went and prayed in the wilderness. Jesus went to the inner room and prayed. You know what? A lot of times, when the Bible talks about Jesus, most of the time is external observation. External. This is a very rare occasion that it actually go in deep and analyzing Jesus in his prayer. Okay? So when you have time, read it a few more times. Like you read it back and forth a few times. Then it will help you to know about Jesus more, the Lord that you worship. Okay, and then in John 17, the prayer of Jesus, the one and only recording of the prayer of Jesus in detail. This is the only place that they tell you what he was praying about in detail. Then you find the repetitive of unity. You found in chapter 17 the core message of the prayer of Jesus. The core. The whole prayer of Jesus circled around unity. So basically in John chapter 17 that there are two topics. Sanctify and unity. Sanctify addressed to personal level. Personal, individual. You. Okay? Sanctification. Be holy, be clean for you, this is between God and you. So for you, the message, individually, personal message that God wants to give it to you is that keep yourself holy. That's the message. And here, unity is not per person. It's not about you as an individual. It's about the church as a whole. So it's not a personal message, but it's a group. The message is for this group. The group that were redeemed by the blood of Jesus is the family. So it's between God and his family, his house. So individually, for you per se, God wants you to be holy. For the church, individually, God wants the church to be in unity. Please do not come to me and ask, oh, how come God doesn't care about holiness of the church? Oh, how come God doesn't care about sanity of the church? Come on, use your brain wisely. 脑袋是个好东西. Like brain is a good stuff, use it. When you are able to achieve this, right? Because this is formed by many of this. When individually you are all sanctified, naturally the family is holy. That's why. It's not that it is not important, but in terms of the church, this is a given. Given. Okay? So, we have to remember, in the house of the Lord, that division is the greatest enemy. Division. Conflict. Fighting. You don't like me, I don't like you. This is the greatest, conflict is the greatest threat for the church. So, when Apostle Paul talk about what is carnal, it all begins by saying, we are one group, you are not. You don't belong to us, you go away. Okay? In the world, people does that. That's why you find, like if you go to Chinatown, okay, you find like 什么同乡会, like the people from the same origin, from the same language, from the same, maybe same city, same town, same village, they all like to conjugate it. They like to form a group. Okay? But of course, in the society, they do that for their protection. Okay? When you are able to form into a bigger group, you got more people to back you up. So that's understandable. Okay? In the society, they do that for protection or just for more comfort. We call that comfort zone. Okay? And yeah, if you find people that share the same value, share the same culture, share the same language, then of course, naturally, you feel more comfortable around them. I understand. Because for me, now, hang out with people who speak Mandarin make it easier for me. Yeah. I am able to, I'm able to speak some sort of English, but still for me, that my English is only it's more about if I have to. So for me, it's only about if I have to. But yeah, so just like for you, if you are sitting in a group that speak Cantonese only, you'll be sitting there, and then you have no idea what's going on, and then they're like chatting, laughing, and then they pat on your back. You're like, I have no idea. Yeah. Seriously, that's how it is. That's how it is. So we tend to feel more comfortable with the group that share the same value or the same background. Nothing wrong with that. However, if you push it too far, when you push over the boundary, when you push it so far to the point that you only care, you only interact, you only deal with people in that small group divisions. You only deal with people in that small group. You only accept people in that small group. Then that's called division. You are dividing yourself from others. You are dividing the house of the Lord into chaos. And we call that carnal, because that's a very selfish act. Very selfish act. Okay? So I think that in chapter 1 we talk a lot about division already. So we shall continue in chapter 3. If you want to serve the Lord with value, okay? Now we are talking about, we're not talking about serving. Okay? Serving is not a problem. We are not talking about doing holy work. Doing church work. Okay? I need to distinct the differences. Okay? So I need to separate holy work versus church work. In here, we're not talking about serving alone. Serving. We're not talking about that concept. We are talking about what kind of servitude show value in the eyes of the Lord. Number 1, make sure that your serving is not for your own agenda, for your own benefit. Okay? So serving is not about you, but because division is always about I. I want to be known. I want to be seen. It's always about I. Division is always about I. Okay? So carnal means that I only care how I feel. I don't care about people who does not belong to my group. I don't care about the guy standing at the corner all by himself. No one ever talked to him. No one ever ate with him during the Sabbath. I don't care because he's not my group. We call that carnal, selfish. And that kind of servitude will never be appreciated by God. Okay? So number 1, carnal. Number 2, how do you enhance? How do you elevate your servitude? You go in verse 5. In verse 5. Verse 5 says, so what is Paul? Then, who then is Paul? Who then is Apollo? Okay? So number 2, when we serve, we have to remember only God gives the increase. Quite often, we enjoy to be we want to be the main character. That's why nowadays you found so many people try to be 网红. 网红, what is that? Not YouTuber. Internet celebrity? Influencer. Oh, that's 网红. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you know what nowadays? I don't know, maybe. Okay, I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to ask because maybe some of you are influencer. Maybe some of you are influencer. Maybe some of you are TikToker. Maybe some of you are YouTuber, like whatever it is. Maybe some of you are Twitter. I thought Twitter. Oh, Xer, because I think they changed the name, right? Yeah. They took out. Is that the? Yeah, right. Elon Musk changed the name. Oh, good for you. No more Twitter for you. For those who tweet all the time, congratulations. The company doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. No, they just changed the name. Yeah. But do you care? I don't. Do you? All right. I shouldn't talk about the things of the world. Because apparently that you care about it a lot. Okay, so you know what? I don't know, maybe some of you are self-considered influencer. And you say, oh, I got 100 followers. I got 500 followers. I don't know, is that, old people like us, we don't really care things about that. But I do know that from the news, I do know that a lot of people, they try very hard to be noticed. Okay? Sometimes you see on the news, they are those, I believe, those YouTuber or whoever, like they will do dangerous thing. They will do crazy thing. The only reason, of course, there are different reasons. Some of the reason might be for money, okay? For money. But sometimes just, I want to be seen. I want to be seen. So you know what? People climb up to the high building without any protection gear. And they say, look at me! Then, like 60 floors down. And then, okay, no detail. No detail. Yeah. Where are you? I'm everywhere. Literally. I'm telling you that the world is coming into a very, but anyway, what I'm saying is, maybe some of you are trying very hard to be seen, to be liked, to be noticed. You want to be the spotlight. But when it comes to serving the Lord, when it comes to the serving the, we have to understand that it's never about you. When you have the right mentality, like Paul, like Peter, like John the Baptist, when you are able to serve the Lord and say, I am not important, it's all about God, then God will look at you and say, no, you are important. You are important in my sight. That's how it works. The moment when you feel that I am so somebody, I am important, church cannot function without me. When you have this kind of mentality, I'm the best RE teacher, oh, the kids love me. They don't like the other teachers because I am number one. When you have this I, this is when the Lord will look at you and say, no, you are nothing. If God loves you, you know what? If the world, someone else in the world say to you, you are nothing, then most likely they hate you. They dislike you. But when God say to you, no, you are nothing, because he loves you. You think in the morning I told you about, I asked the council to put that brother and assign him to clean up the toilet. You think I hate him? I'm not going to answer that question. No, I don't hate him. I was just having fun with him, yeah? Now, for me, doing something like that, I don't have personal, I don't really get my personal emotion involved. I do not ask the council for him to clean the toilet because I like him or I dislike him. I do it just because I think it might be good for him. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. Okay? I'm not very familiar with that person. I mean, the age differences. I mean, just too young. I'm just too old. He's just too young. So, there are very little interaction for me and that brother in the church. So, no, I don't have any preference or personal emotion. I do not. I asked the church to assign him to clean the toilet, not because I dislike him, but I just think, hopefully, it might be helpful. So when you are able to bend your back, mopping the floor, when you are able to humbly clean the toilet, when you are able to aware, fully aware, there is no high-end job or low-end job in the house of the Lord. When you learn to be humble, that's when you could be exalted, elevated. We all want to be great. We all want to be important. We all want to be honored, right? When you graduate, when you are working, do you like to be the boss or you like to be the 跑腿的那个what you may call it? Yeah, the 路人甲 ABC, like to be the character ABC, like no names. Yeah. Do you want to be the boss or you just want to be a nobody in the office? Of course, we all want to be like, high position, good this and that, like well respected. But a lot of time, if you never go through the basic, you never understand how to. If you do not know how to be humble, it's very difficult for you to stay prudent when you are giving authority or honored. When I first graduated, I have a very interesting career path. So I graduate early. My academic was quite easy. Double major. I have double major. I graduate early in 7 semesters. I never took any summer school. 7 semester things list because my school is very easy. Yeah, when I apply for college, I only apply one school. I only apply one. Why? Because apply school costs money. I am very cheap. So when my parents are like, are you going to apply more? I was like, look, it costs money. So I only apply one. My mom say, what happened if you didn't get in? Go to community college. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just naturally cheap. So when I graduate, I didn't graduate from like, maybe some of you are in those prestige, like, oh, wow, high end. I only applied one school, a school that I know I can get in. And I graduate from it faster. Early graduation with double major just because I feel that in school, I just want to go to work and, instead of giving money to school, I want to earn money to my pocket. Yeah. So, however, still, the double major early graduate is still make me feel I'm doing pretty good until I start working. Oh. Then I know why my mom said that I was a very proud person. When my mom said that I was very proud, I never agree. When I was young, I said, no, I am not. She said, oh, no, you are very prideful. I said, no, I am not. Yeah, until I start working. Oh. And God trained me. I got into a company. They pay good, environment good, company good size, and everything good. And I was giving my own office in for the beginner, a newly graduate, that was pretty good. But my boss, he didn't like me. My supervisor hates me because he feels that the boss hired me to replace him. Oh, he gave me such a hard time in life. You know that after I worked for 2 months, he told me one day that start from tomorrow, when you come into the office, you go and clean men's room first. I was like, wait, but if I clean the bathroom, then how about the janitor? I mean, we have our company has janitor. I was like, if I clean the bathroom, how about the janitor? Oh no, don't worry, janitor will do his job. So at first I was so angry. I was like, hey, I did not sign up for this. I did not come to work for you for cleaning the bathroom. Every day I think about quitting because I do not feel like, me? Clean the bathroom? Are you out of your mind? The pride is very difficult to swallow. Very difficult. So, but you know what? In my career path, there's always one thing. I always ask myself, why? Why did God allow me to run into such a thing? And I feel simply walk away is a defeat. I could have quit my job anytime because I live with my parents. I eat from their table. I take money out of my father's wallet. No, I did not. Yeah. I mean, I have no financial burden. I do not have financial burden. And every day I want to quit. Every day I want to quit. But at the same time, I feel if I cannot find the reason, like what is the lesson God want me to learn? What is the cause that I run into this? If I simply just flip the table and say, forget it, I think I lose. I think then I lost because I didn't get to really know why. So every day I want to quit my job, but every day I swallow my pride. And every day I go in, I clean the bathroom. I did not learn that in college. The teacher never taught me. And I don't know if you can imagine, for a young man, graduate, found a job, thinking that he is the center of the universe. And then you begin your day by cleaning the men's room in your job, in your work. I don't know how many of you will just quit. I mean, quitting is the easiest. For me, quitting is the easiest thing. But I think quitting is like throwing the towel and admit that you are defeated. So I refused to quit. Oh, I hate that job. I hate my boss. But there's one thing I realized, that every day when I was like mopping the sink, I was cleaning the sink, mopping the floor, I start changing my mentality. I begin with a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of this. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to flood the bathroom, let me tell you. I have a lot of this, drama going on in my mind. I'm going to retaliate. I'm going to do this and that. But slowly, the interesting thing is, when you are able to calm down and see, then your mentality change. Earlier, I told you that they pay me good. They pay me good money as a beginner. Of course, that's 20-some years ago. For me, newly graduate 20-some years ago, what I get is pretty good. And then I realized one thing. When I am working, I have a lot of pressure. I have to deal with the customer. I have to call and deal with the factory in overseas. I have to deal with a lot of yelling, and I have to deal with a lot of deadlines. Like there are a lot of pressure. And then I realized when I am mopping the floor in the bathroom, I have no pressure. And they pay me the same. You know, that is the changing of mind. Suddenly I realized, wow, I can't believe they pay me this much to do this. So you know what? Then my morning cleaning duty gets longer and longer and longer. So I begin 15 minutes, and then they're just so embarrassed. From 15 minutes to 30 minutes to 45 minutes. So only until one morning after I stay in the bathroom for an hour and a half. I make sure that every place is spotless. Yeah. And I know that, because you know what? Clean the bathroom is so quiet. It's just I don't know, but maybe like working in the graveyard is like the same thing. Like, especially when you put down the sign, no one get to use it. Make sure that my boss doesn't get to use it. So now, unfortunately, one day after I stay in there for like hour and a half, he told me that, no, you are not allowed. You are not allowed to clean the bathroom anymore. I was like, why? What I'm trying to tell you is sometimes hardship. You know what? In your life, you can easily toss in the towel and say, I don't want this. I don't want this. You are unable to bend your back because you think this is against my ego, my dignity, my this and my that. But let me tell you, When you have a very clear mind, when you serve in the church, when you are able to fully understand, I am nothing, God is everything, it becomes very easy for you to take on any job that the church asks you to do. Any job. You will feel so honored, even doing something that people might consider low. But you wouldn't feel it. You wouldn't. Because you think that, hey, I am doing it for God. The worst, let me tell you that in all my years in church, the worst moment I had, the worst moment is in one of the SSC. One of the child, I was a counselor. One of the child apparently oh no, I wasn't a counselor. I was a TTP student. One of the child ate too much at the dessert time. Around 1:30, 2 o'clock, the counselor knocked on my door and said the child threw up all over the blanket and himself, and the child was crying. He too. And then apparently that the counselor freaked out. Dealing with like all the vomit everywhere. I keep on hearing like the gagging from the counselor. I was like, you know what, I'll take care of it. Have you ever experienced washing someone else's vomit at 2:30 in the morning? I did, and that doesn't bother me. It's not my kid. Just like you're not my kid. But it's God's kid. I don't like it, but I have no problem dealing with it. Hey, if I can wash the toilet and make it spotless, I was very well trained in cleaning things. So you know what? It was pretty bad. For the young people, for the counselor, he was about to faint. So I actually took the kids, changed him, and he was crying. So I washed him, I cleaned him, and I prayed with him. And then I dragged another sleeping bag. I pat him until he falls asleep, and then I go and wash the vomit sleeping bag. Does it bother me? Not really. Would it bother you? If you help to clean the toilet for many, many years, nothing bothers you. What I'm trying to tell you is anything that you run into in life, you might feel you are too good for it. But you never know. Something that you learn today may be your greatest asset for your future in the servitude. Maybe. Okay? So in the church, there's nothing too low for you. If you know whatever you do is for God and God alone. And you will not be prideful. You will not. If you know, just like what Apostle Paul said, that I do whatever I can, but only God can make it happen, then your servitude elevated. John the Baptist said that I am nothing, and then Jesus said that you are everything. Continue. We are still at chapter 3. Okay, continue. No more story. If we keep on with all the stories, by the end of lesson 12, we'll be like chapter 4. All right, chapter 3. No. All right. 16, verse 16. Do you not know? Do you not know it's 4:30 right now? Do you not know that you are the temple of God and that the Spirit of God dwells in you? If anyone destroy or defile the temple of God, God will destroy him. Okay? For the temple of God is holy, which temple you are. Okay, number 3, serving the Lord. Again, the Lord made it very clear. You want to be a good vessel, you need to be sanctified. For you are the holy temple of the Lord. Okay? So number 3, how can you make sure that your servitude retain value in the eyes of the Lord? is that when you serve with holiness, sanctification. Okay? We are the vessel. We are the temple. In here, Apostle Paul said, the temple you are. You are the temple. So you are the temple, and the Lord said the temple must be holy. And then if anyone defile the temple, God will destroy. Pay attention to the term that was used, destroy. Destroy. Destroy is a very heavy term. It means that anyone defile the temple, God will wipe you out. But every time when I read about this, I always come back with a question. What happens if we are the one ruining the temple? We are the temple, but if we voluntarily defile the temple, and the Lord said, whoever, I guess that also includes ourselves. Whoever ruin, because the temple is you, but it's supposed to belong to God. Isn't it? You are the temple. You are, but doesn't mean you have the ownership. You are the temple is different than you own the temple. You are the temple, but God owns the temple. The temple belongs to Him. So even this is your body, but it belongs to God. You ruin the temple, then according to Paul, God destroy you. Sometimes we wonder how come our prayer seems so distant from God? We wonder how come we believe in Jesus for so long. We do not have any vivid experience. Maybe because our transgression hindered. It becomes a hindrance. It becomes a stumbling block between God and us. So that yes, we are here. Yes, we attend the event. Yes, we kneel down and pray. But we are unable to draw closer to God. So lastly, if we look at the book of Lamentation. If you look at Lamentation. Lamentation chapter 3. Lamentation chapter 3, verse 40. Let us search out and examine our ways and turn back to the Lord. Let us lift our heart and hands to God in heaven. We have transgressed and rebelled. You have not pardoned. You have covered yourself with anger and pursued us. You have slain and not pitied. You have covered yourself with a cloud, that prayer shall not pass through. Okay? So lastly, I want you to remember that the Lord said He created you. He meant something good and important and valuable for you. He has an expectation on you. You are the holy temple. But the Lord said, anyone ruin the temple, God will destroy it. So it is very important. Okay? It is imperative for you and I to strive to sanctify ourselves, to keep ourselves holy, so that our servitude can be fully accepted by God. The world is extremely unfriendly to those who try to keep themselves holy. For those who want to be different and dare to be different. Yes, the world is very unfriendly. For you, your generation is even worse than mine. I know that. But for those who endure to the end, keep themselves holy, guarding the temple of the Lord, they shall be remembered by the Lord. Let's all pray in silence.